You might want to finish eating before this starts. These bizarre facts will have you questioning what's actually in your fridge and how it got there. In Japan, farmers grow watermelons in square molds to make them easier to stack and store. It's not a joke, it's produce with a design brief. But here's the catch. To hold their shape, these watermelons are harvested before they ripen, which makes them hard and tasteless. That means most square watermelons are sold as novelty items or luxury gifts, often costing over $100. You can buy one, display it, even Instagram it, but eating it is basically like chewing a melon-shaped brick. Japan's love of aesthetic design extends to fruit, even if it means sacrificing flavor for form. Scientists have successfully created diamonds using peanut butter. The high carbon content in peanut butter makes it theoretically suitable for synthetic diamond production under the right conditions. In lab settings, researchers exposed it to extreme heat and pressure similar to Earth's mantle, and it worked. The process is inefficient, messy, and expensive, so it's not used commercially, but it's scientifically valid. You probably shouldn't raid your pantry to build a wedding ring, but technically, the spread in your sandwich has the right atomic ingredients for bling. It's carbon-rich, weirdly reactive, and now, diamond potential confirmed. Many edible figs contain the remains of wasps. A specific type of fig needs a particular wasp to pollinate it. The female wasp crawls inside the fig to lay her eggs, pollinates the fruit, and then dies there. Fortunately, enzymes in the fig break down the insect completely, turning it into protein. So by the time you bite into a fig, the wasp is gone, dissolved by nature's chemistry. This bizarre process is called mutualism. The wasp gets a place to reproduce, the fig gets pollinated, and you get a snack with hidden insect credentials. Technically natural, slightly horrifying. In Sardinia, there's a cheese called casu marzu that contains live maggots. The larvae are intentionally introduced to break down the fats in the cheese, making it soft, creamy, and, depending on your perspective, disgusting. The maggots are still alive when served and can leap several inches when disturbed. Some people remove them before eating, others don't. Because the cheese is technically hazardous, it's banned in most countries, including across the EU. But locals still eat it traditionally and consider it a delicacy. It's one of the few foods on Earth that comes with a warning and an escape plan. Bananas contain potassium-40, a naturally occurring isotope that makes them radioactive. The level of radiation is low, so low that you'd have to eat millions in one sitting for any effect, but it's still detectable. In fact, there's an unofficial measurement called the banana equivalent dose, used to illustrate radiation levels in everyday terms. It's harmless, but weirdly measurable. That's why bananas sometimes trigger radiation sensors at ports and airports. Your fruit bowl might be emitting trace energy waves right now. It's safe. But technically, every banana carries a tiny bit of nuclear personality. Castoreum, a compound from the anal glands of beavers, was historically used to flavor vanilla and raspberry sweets. The substance comes from castor sacs located near the beaver's rear end, and it has a musky vanilla aroma. The FDA once classified it as a natural flavoring, which means it could legally appear in candy, gum, and even baked goods without specific labeling. Thankfully, modern production rarely uses it due to high costs and public disgust. But for decades, you might have been licking beaver secretions and calling it dessert. Technically natural, disturbingly specific. Some pre-shredded cheeses include cellulose to prevent clumping. That cellulose is often derived from wood pulp. The FDA allows it as a food additive, and it's considered safe to consume. But you're still eating processed wood fiber disguised in your lasagna or sprinkled over pizza. Manufacturers use it because it's cheap, effective, and tasteless. While not harmful, it's unsettling to know that the anti-caking agent in your cheese drawer might have started as a tree. You thought you were getting 100% cheese. You were also getting forestry byproduct. Add that to your ingredient reading list. In the 16th century, coffee was banned in Mecca. Authorities feared it encouraged radical thinking and social gatherings in coffee houses, which they believed could lead to unrest. Religious scholars debated whether coffee was intoxicating under Islamic law. Some argued it altered the mind like alcohol and should be forbidden. As a result, coffee drinkers were arrested and coffee houses were shut down. The ban didn't last, but it reveals how deeply this beverage challenged norms. What's now a morning ritual was once considered dangerous ideology in a cup. Java, from rebellion to breakfast in just a few centuries. In 18th century Europe, pineapples were so rare and expensive that people rented them as centerpieces. Owning one was a status symbol, but actually eating it was considered wasteful unless you were fabulously rich. Instead, pineapples were displayed at parties or borrowed for banquets, then returned to merchants. They were reused until they rotted. Some people even commissioned painted replicas to fake pineapple ownership. The fruit became a weird form of social currency, a tropical trophy signaling power and prestige. Today, it's $2.99 at the grocery store. Back then, it was the edible equivalent of renting a yacht. Workers in microwave popcorn plants once developed a condition called bronchiolitis obliterans, nicknamed popcorn lung, from inhaling diacetyl, a buttery flavoring chemical. The disease causes irreversible scarring in the lungs and leads to coughing, wheezing, and shortness of breath. The condition emerged in the early 2000s and led to lawsuits and industrial reforms. Although diacetyl is still used in some flavorings, it's now regulated more strictly in manufacturing environments. Eating popcorn won't hurt you, but making it in bulk once came with serious occupational hazards. Your buttery movie snack nearly had a body count behind it. Subscribe for more freaky facts that make food labels feel like horror stories.